And I'm back. What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a great week. I've got some updates on the car. The car's doing something really weird lately, something new, which surprised me. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But first, let me show you this guy, Freddie. This is Freddie. Freddie is the brother to her and him. He was the last one born in the litter. He's here visiting for a week. And so he gets to play with his brothers and sisters and his mom and dad. He's the most high energy of the litter. Also the fluffiest one, and he looks like one of those Coca-Cola bears for Christmas is what he looks like, because he's got a little black nose. Right, Freddie? So the weird thing the car is doing is it's driving pretty well. So there's a PDK reset procedure, which I did. I'll put that on the screen right here. You can just Google this and you'll find it. And so I did the PDK reset after the last visit to the Indy shop, just because the PDK, the way I understand it, that the PDK will adapt and drive different based on what the engine is doing. That's why I had some of that surging and things like that. So now that the engine is 99% fixed, not 100%, I'll get to that in a second. Now that the engine side of the things is running smooth again and running well, I did the PDK reset because the PDK was like severely clunky, like more than it had been in the past. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to live with it. Ironically, it started improving. It started getting better and better and better. And the last few days I've driven the car, the PDK has been buttery smooth. Rarely clunks now. Maybe it clunks. Usually when it does clunk, I'll look down at the indicator and it's usually in second gear, which is normal. It's completely normal for these cars. Sometimes third gear, but most of the time it's second gear. But it's been driving really well, and the gear shifts have been smoother and smoother. I don't know what the hell happened, but it improved. The car is driving pretty good. So that's the weird thing it's been doing. I was working on my daughter's car the other day in here. So I had the Porsche outside, and the sun hit it just right where I saw something I didn't expect to see. I'm going to show you. It's good and it's bad. It's good because of where it is. It's not a big deal. But it's bad because it shouldn't be there. Let me show you. So right now you can't see anything, but I can tell you where it is. And it's the same on both sides. It's inside there. You can actually see it right there. See the light coming through? That is a crack. See it better from that side? If I go to the other side, same place, further down. Back there. So the first little bit of light you see closest to the camera is just where the tips meet the tailpipe. That's no big deal. It's just past that there's a crack, and the crack is on the flange. I'm gonna shine a light into the pipes and show you and try to record the tube, the tailpipe tube, from the outside so you can see the light coming in from the inside. All right, so here's the tips. This is where it's cracking. See the light coming through? That is the flange, the factory flange. It's not a modification. This is the factory flange, and it holds these two tubes together. And so at the bottom of that flange, going towards the cat, it's cracked right there. I can actually feel the crack. Goes to about here. So this entire area is cracked. You see the dark color? That's because it's all cracked. I'll turn the light off. See? You can't see it. You put a little light in there, see the crack. And it's exactly the same on both sides. See the dark spot? This one's actually cracked worse. That's the crack. Put a light on there. Since that crack is at the very end of the tailpipe, it should have no effect on performance whatsoever. It may change the sound a little bit. I feel like the note has gone down a little bit. When I'm on full throttle, it sounds exactly the same. When I'm on part throttle, it does seem to be a little bit quieter. And that might be why, I don't know. But I could take it, because of where the crack is near the end of the tailpipe, I could just take it to the place I was recommended to, and they can weld it and be done with it. I'm gonna go a step further, just to be safe. I'm gonna take the side mufflers off the car, because one, they're easy to take off, and two, I wanna make sure there's no more cracks, because once you find one crack, usually there's more. So I wanna take the side mufflers completely off the car, and that way, with them out of the way, we can examine the entire muffler, take the mufflers themselves to the shop, and they can work on them on a bench much easier than working on them with the car hanging in the air. And we can also look at the headers and look at everything else and make sure there's no other cracks or any other issues back there with the exhaust. So you guys have seen me take this all apart before, so I'm not gonna do a DIY. We're just gonna put on some music and roll the camera. So that took a lot less time than I thought it was going to take. The mufflers came right off, no issues. Let me show you where the cracks are on the mufflers. Now, off the car, super easy to see. Look at this one. This one's getting ugly. If I lift it up. So, we're probably going to have to take this, cut this flange off, whatever, or cut that weld, re-weld the whole thing, and then put the flange back on. This side is not as bad. It is cracked, has lifted it up. You see that? Right there. My fingernail under it. But they're gonna have to pull this off to make sure they can get it completely. So I'm glad I did take these off the car, because otherwise they'd be doing with this on the car. This one's easier to get to. This one's higher over your head. See where the tips are? I looked at the rest of the muffler. Seams look fine. I don't see any cracks on the seams. Looks pretty normal. It used to say Fister right here, but it burns off. Now we'll load these up in the Passat, take them down to the shop, which is down the street. And they said they do stainless, and they are recommended from my indie shop for exhaust. And I think they should be able to fix this pretty quickly. I wonder if they can pressure test this first. I don't know if they can. You know what? I'm going to smoke test it first to make sure there's no other cracks anywhere else. If you wanted to add your SharkWorks pipe or Fab Speed or Soul or whatever X pipe you want to put on, now's a good time. Or if you wanted to reinstall your OEM center muffler, it'd be a good time, because you have easy access to the 3 bolts on the back of the Cat. Probably going to have to cut those. They are, you either usually break them or they stripped. So I broke 2 the last time installing this, so I don't want to mess with it. I'm going to leave it as is. All right, I know it's hard to see because of the sun, but see, my smoke machine, my little homemade smoke machine is full of smoke, and the only place the smoke is coming out is the tailpipe. So smoke is going through here, through the muffler, coming back out and coming out here. So it's only coming out of this crack
and the tailpipe. I'll pump it up a couple more times. You guys can see it. Let's see if I can hold and pump at the same time. See the smoke coming out of the tailpipe? And it comes out of this crack. Just barely. Important thing is it's not coming out of anywhere else. There's no smoke coming out of any other seam. That's good. That means the only crack is right there. That's wonderful. That's exactly what I want to see. And if I pull this off, see? That's good. That means that muffler is sealed except for that crack. Now I'm gonna test the other one. So same thing on this one. Only smoke comes out of the tailpipe, doesn't come out of ours. Actually, even very minimal comes out of this crack. This crack on this one is smaller. No smoke coming out of the muffler. If I pump it up again, watch the tailpipe. See the smoke coming out of the tailpipe? So that tube is going all the way through the muffler, through the little bypass and back. No leaks, which is what we want. And if I pull it off of here, that's good. That is a very positive sign. Yes, I changed my clothes because I was burning up. The sun came out and it's muggy because it rained yesterday. It was getting hot as hell. So now I'm gonna take these mufflers, throw them in the Passat there, and go to the muffler shop and drop them off. They said they can probably weld it really fast, but you never know how busy they are. So I don't expect them to drop what they're doing to weld this. But I do, they'll let me know when it's done. So now we are rolling in the other German car, the Passat. And we're gonna take the mufflers and drop them off. Fortunately, this muffler shop that's recommended is literally minutes from my house. I pass by it all the time. When I got the Pfister mod, which actually I exchanged my mufflers is what I did. I sent my mufflers to Darren Pfister, and Darren sent me back the exchange pair that he had already done the mod to. And if you go back to watch that video, I think it's up here. The link is in the description, but that's the video up there in the corner. If you go back and watch that video when I did it, the reason I chose to go with Darren Pfister rather than a Gundo hack, even though it's technically the same thing, is because Darren has done this the exact same way he's done it, and he has a jig, and he's got it down to a science. And I will always choose quality over cost, always. And actually cost wasn't that much different, but I have no regrets, no complaints about it. This little crack here, this has nothing to do with the Gundo hack. This crack is just, it's cracking where the factory welded that little tab. That's all it is. And that can happen on any part. Any part you have welded, a crack can develop on that part if it's welded at a factory. That's just kind of standard stuff that we got to deal with. It's what happens when your car gets older. You don't want to deal with that, you buy a new car. I can't afford the new car, so I will get this fixed. So just dropped the mufflers off at Exhaust Specialties here. They don't look like they're particularly busy, but at the same time, it doesn't look like they have someone working right now, and just someone to receive things. So he told me it'd be done by tomorrow. They do look like they have all the tools and everything that they need. When I went to A&P school, it's airframe and power plant, and also when I did auto body in high school. So when I did auto body in high school, and when I was getting my FAA license for aircraft mechanic, I learned how to weld. So I know how to weld myself, but A, I don't have the right tools, and B, I don't want to mess it up. I'd rather leave that to professionals that were recommended to me, and that's what we did. I mean, it's a typical weld. It should be pretty easy and straightforward. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. You should be able to do it fast, but I just don't think they have anybody available today to do it. Well, and they have a couple other cars in there that are probably going to take priority. So, no big deal. I have the car. I purposely put the car where I needed to put it in the garage so that it can stay on the quick jacks overnight and not move. It's going to be a nice little surprise for Claudia when she comes home and sees that the Porsche is in her parking spot. She'll get over it. Actually, we'll just put her car in the Porsche parking spot. It'll just be tighter on that side because it's more shallow. Nothing left to do with the car today. We'll get the mufflers tomorrow, and we will install them tomorrow. We could consider taking off the Sharkworks X-pipe and reinstalling the center exhaust. Do that? Guess you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow to find out.